my god. Okay, here's the hardest part. The intro.
The intro. Oh, yes.
Everyone, my name is Nate, and welcome back to Project Nerd, where nearly everything is reviewed and discussed. Today I'm here with...
Rachel.
And we're back at it again, comparing the new live-action Lady and the Tramp exclusively on Disney Plus to the 1955 original animated film. But before we get into that, be sure to follow Creator Source Studios on Instagram and Facebook to learn about all the other things we're doing outside of Project Nerd. So, Lady and the Tramp is a thing...
Exclusively on Disney Plus. I like how you
Yes.
added that little...
Well, it never went to
that
theaters.
little...
Which
No,
I
it
think
didn't.
I think that's important to note here. Because one video back, we reviewed The Lion King, which did go to theaters. It's in the top 10 highest grossing films of all time.
It is,
somehow.
and that's disgraceful. It really
Yes.
is.
And now we have this made-for-streaming platform film that had probably a much lower budget, but that I liked light years more than I enjoyed The Lion King.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like we should just put it out there right now.
Absolutely. And I know because Lion King was the last one we did, we're constantly going to be comparing this to The Lion King because The Lion King was so bad and this one was really not. I mean, it really wasn't awful. I mean, I went into this and after seeing The Lion King, I went into this very wary, but I mean, now I kind of feel bad because I was like, I turned this on and I was like, oh, this might actually suck, and it really didn't. So
no, this was good. This was
pleasantly surprised.
This is a delightful reprieve that I feel is like bookended by probably two of the worst live action Disney remakes. Although we haven't watched Mulan, I just feel like Mulan is going to be really bad.
We've heard terrible things. It's done
Correct.
Terrible in the box office. It's done terrible politically.
It's just bad. It's just bad.
And I've heard it's not even really a remake. It's just something entirely different.
I've also heard it's more adaptation than remake, but we'll see. So I guess if we want to just do a general plot overview of Lady and the Tramp, just comparing the two.
It's the same.
Generally, there are a couple character swaps. Like in the original, Aunt Sarah sticks around for a lot longer, and it's her who's like really hard on Tramp for like trying to kill the baby. But in this version, it's the dog catcher. Who we'll talk about the dog catcher.
Oh, we'll talk about the dog.
We'll talk about the dog catcher.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I clearly had a very general overview of Lady and the Tramp because I watched the remake and I went, they added a lot in here that wasn't in the original. And then I went back and I read like a plot summary for the original and I was like, oh, they really didn't.
No, they really
I just don't remember any of this stuff. I just don't remember literally any of it.
Yeah.
So,
but
I mean,
somehow this.
I had this idea of like, oh, I know, and we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I had this idea of like, oh, she meets him, and then they get out, and then they go on an adventure, and then there's the thing with the rat, and then it's over. And it seems like you could fit that into a barely an hour's time. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the original film is 2 hours and 15 minutes, so an hour and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes. I was gonna say, what version of Lady and the Tramp did you watch?
So this film's only 45 minutes longer. Mm-hmm. Saying only 45 minutes longer, saying that out loud is really kind of... But in my opinion, that would be my major complaint about this, is that you feel those 45 minutes.
I mean, I would have to disagree. I don't think I really felt the 45 minutes, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I don't know. I mean, I was watching it and I thought it was cute, and then they went on their little adventure and they had like just finished, and maybe it's the fact that I just didn't remember that much about the original, but they finished like the scene with the spaghetti and meatballs,
Mm-hmm.
their little dinner. We'll talk
Of
about that
course.
because that was adorable. And then they're sitting in a park and they're talking about Tramp's trying to talk to her about, like, you know, how great it is to just be a street dog and to be free. And I was like, okay, this is cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I clicked on the timestamp and there was 53 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God. And then they ran from the dog catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lady got captured. And then Jim, Deere, and Darling came and picked her up and they took her home. And then Tramp came and apologized. And I went, okay, now it's probably almost over. And I clicked on the timestamp again and there was 37 minutes left. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I mean, it's not...
Like, this movie's never going to end.
Yeah, and the thing is, the difference between, like, this and... I don't even want to say The Lion King, even though we gave The Lion King so much shit for it. They don't just, like, throw things in there to get the time stretched out. They just take the same plot points and they make them happen for longer. Although they do add a couple of sequences. But
yeah,
the sequences they do add, I like. Especially, I really enjoyed the sequence with them on the riverboat. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
But
I mean, here's the thing. I like dogs. I mean, I don't think I've really ever met a person that doesn't like dogs to some extent, at least. If at the very least they tolerate dogs. So I was perfectly fine to watch a 2-hour movie about dogs, just doing dog things. As far as, like, let's compare to The Lion King. As far as a effects budget goes for that, I mean, Disney's always been able to do dogs very well. They've never had a problem with doing dogs. That's because everyone knows what dogs do. And I feel like dogs are already a fairly expressive animal. So I feel like because people are so much more used to, like, the behavior of dogs and how dogs act, you can very easily make them seem human, or give them, like, expressions and stuff like that without having to go too wonky, but still keeping it realistic. And also, again, and I said this multiple times in The Lion King, and this just shows as proof of my previous statement in this film, they cast actors, not singers.
Right.
And I said the same thing when they did Jungle Book. They cast actors, and actors
Not
know
singers.
how to voice act. So it didn't even, so at parts where I felt like I even was kind of just like staring at a dog that was talking, didn't matter, because the voice actors were so good and they put so much emotion into their performances that it didn't matter that there wasn't a whole lot of emotion in the face.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I feel like this movie feels very much like it's a reaction to The Lion King. It feels like they heard what people said and they
despite the fact that it made a whole lot of money, the reviews were not good.
Yes, the reviews.
A lot of people criticized it. I don't know how it made so much money then.
Because it says The Lion King on the poster, that's why.
Probably, in Beyonce's name.
Right, exactly. Perfect.
So, I mean, nothing against Beyonce. Please don't come at us for
nothing against Beyonce. We have things against the Disney corporate machine. That's what I have things against. But,
oh yeah.
I mean, I thought the dogs were much more expressive than the lions in Lion King. It feels like we've gone back to the Jungle Book, like what we talked about, why the Jungle Book works. I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and the dogs definitely emote a whole lot better in the voice and in the facial region than the lions did in Lion King. Although there were a few shots where I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely a CGI dog.
Yeah, I'd actually be interested. I didn't look this up, but I'd be curious to know how much, if any, shots were actually done with real dogs.
There were.
I mean,
There were real
there
dogs.
were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because some of it certainly looked it.
Yeah.
I mean, the the wide shots and, shots where they weren't speaking.
Yeah, where they're just like running from A to B or just barking at something or whatever. Those were real
Right.
dogs.
Which was good. I think they used that wisely. Obviously, in
Mm-hmm.
The Lion King, you can't use real lions.
Right,
So
exactly.
they used the fact that they could use real animals to their advantage,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And that helps with the animation, too, because you have a literal subject to look off of.
Right, exactly. You're not trying to make an animal from scratch.
Right.
You're using a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, really, really helped this movie.
Yeah. I will say, the only parts where I feel like it felt weird is maybe a little bit with the voice acting and the dialogue, because they sounded very human. Like, if you replaced all the dogs in this movie with people, it would stay completely the same.
Right.
Right? Which has always kind of been, which was kind of the point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In the original story, it's like, oh, look, it's this classic love story, but it's dogs. Mm-hmm. So, but I felt like the dialogue at some points, I could have closed my eyes and just imagined it were two people talking. And then when I opened my eyes and it was two dogs, I was like, this is just a little bit weird.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a little bit strange, especially to hear a dog maybe talking more like a normal human, like how we talk. I don't know, something about that was strange to me.
But yeah.
How people fall in love.
Yeah.
They strayed away from that whole sort of true love thing, like you lock eyes and you know it's your soulmate and all of a sudden you're in love.
Right. And now they actually, I thought they had really good chemistry in this movie.
I thought they did too. I liked both of those. I mean, I liked both of those actors. I liked everybody who was in this, really. Yeah. I didn't know a lot of who, I mean, I knew a lot of who was in it. Like, they did the classic credits at the beginning of the film, and I recognized a lot of the names. Mm-hmm. But then if they were a dog...
You had no idea.
I had no idea.
Right. Because I was just looking at the cast list before this, and the bulldog Butch, that's Benedict Wong from Doctor Strange. I didn't know that because I saw his name pop up at the beginning, and
Me too. And then I was
like, who is this man?
Where
is he? But yeah, I mean, I liked everyone in this movie. If I had to pick a favorite character, I would say it's definitely Jim Deere. I really enjoyed his interactions with everyone. Especially I really enjoyed his interactions.
Especially the dog catcher.
Yes, him and the dog catcher. And him and the dog catcher and him and Aunt Sarah. Because you can tell as soon as she shows up, he is so done with her shit. Mm-hmm. Like, even at the baby shower, he just does not want to interact with this woman.
No, not at all.
Because, I mean, in the original, I think he's actually related to her. It's not the wife's relation, it's his. It's his aunt. So it's interesting in this version for him to just be like, I cannot stand this.
Yeah, that was one of a couple notable character changes, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That they did. The biggest one that stuck out to me was Jacques is a girl now.
Yeah, that was odd.
It didn't really bother me.
It didn't bother me either. I mean,
it didn't bother me, but I noticed it immediately, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, I will admit, I missed like that really deep, gruff Scottish voice. But I mean, yeah, I liked the character of Jock in this one, but I did miss.
I mean, they kept the Scottish accent, which was nice.
Yeah,
and the dialogue was still kind of the same. I actually almost thought it was funnier to hear some of like what you typically expect, like you said, like a gruff Scottish voice to say. It was like the same dialogue, but it was said by a woman. I was like, that's actually kind of funny,
especially that
because I imagine
that pep
Scottish
talk at
women
the end
also talk like that.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a couple character changes, and why they didn't want to use that song again. Like, I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I understand that. The problem is now you have to either do what they did, which is include the cats, but write them a completely different song, or just exclude the cats entirely. Or you
include the
could
cats
just,
without a song.
yes, which is what I would have preferred, honestly.
Probably, yeah.
But
Because I feel like that scene lasted entire.
way too long.
I don't remember how long the scene was in the
Too
original, but
long.
this scene was way too
Yeah,
long.
this was just unbearable. Like,
Mhm.
and it's not even that the song was bad. It's just that the song was forgettable. Like, I wasn't even
No,
paying
I
attention
thought
to
the
the
song was
lyrics while I was.
bad.
Oh, okay,
I
all right.
thought the song was
Maybe it
bad.
was bad, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I thought the
But
song was not great. I didn't think the cats looked very real compared to the dogs.
yeah, well, and they're gone
Um,
after that. They never
and then they're
come back.
gone. And I
Yeah,
didn't think either of the people they had for voice actors were great singers.
yeah. It
I
was.
mean, I feel like you could have just I feel like here's the thing. I feel like you could have kept like the kind of jazzy, hokey music that they played
Mhm.
without any words.
Yeah.
Like you can
Just do
keep
like an
that.
instrumental like background
Yeah, some sort of
piece
instrumental background to them
destroying the house,
destroying the house and Lady trying to
trying to
stop
stop them.
them.
Right.
And you can include like a quick line at the end. It was about that. The song was about like them, like they're like, we're gonna redecorate the house, and that just
Yeah.
consisted of destroying everything. And I was like, this is kind of strange.
Yeah.
So I was like, you could have kept like that line at the beginning, and
Hmm.
then just no words, just instrumental underneath. I feel like that would have worked so much better.
I guess that serves as kind of a decent transition into talking about the music in this movie.
Hooray!
Some of the music made it through intact.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, most of it, because there are not very many songs in
Most
the
of it.
original. Yeah.
No, it's a very song light movie.
Hmm.
And I mean the lullaby at the beginning,
Hmm.
the song about the song about Tramp that
Hmm.
Peg sings made
Hmm.
it in. The song that's sung while they're having their little dinner date,
Hmm.
which, by the way, we need to talk about that.
We need to talk about the whole dinner date. That's getting its
Yeah,
own section, the dinner date
yeah.
scene, because that's just so
We'll
iconic.
get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
And then what else?
that's it.
That's kind of it.
I mean, unless you want to count like the song that they play at the beginning, at the end, the Christmas Carol, but that doesn't really count because
That's
nobody
just
sings
generic,
that. Yeah,
right?
but that is the exact same music that they play in the original. The song on the way in and the song on the way out for Christmas.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was surprised at how much I liked this music in both versions. I really liked the lullaby, the La La Lu song.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the new version of He's a Tramp, although I think it's significantly shorter than it was in the original. I think they've
I think
cut
it is
serious
too.
sections out of this. And
I
then,
haven't read the words to it in a while, but I feel like some parts of it might have not been appropriate.
well, I think they changed it to him being a con artist instead of him being like a runaround.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
want
mean,
to see if I can.
oh
I
god.
think it might be. I think we've teased it enough. I think we should talk about the spaghetti
Mhm.
scene. It's amazing in every
It's
way.
so good. It's so
I was
cute.
watching. I watched part of this late last night, and that's about right where I stopped. And I
Mhm.
just remember, um, the cook being like, "Oh, it's a full house tonight. I don't know
Mhm.
if I'm gonna be able to get you anything." And then, like the manager comes out, and they see that he's got Lady with him, and all of a sudden it's like, drop everything.
Everything stops. We're
Everything
closed.
stops. We're setting up a date for this dog.
And I love how both of
He's
them,
setting up a romantic dinner for this dog.
and both of the dogs have dialogue that's just like, I have no idea what's happening right now. Because this was not Tramp's intention, and it's
No.
so cute.
They're like, because like in the original, it's just the guy like leaves it out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But now it's like, he's like, get them a table and a tablecloth and the candle and the breadstick.
Well, no, they do the same thing. In this version, it's just much more explicit that Tony is telling him, like, look, we're doing this all out. This dog gets everything.
We're going all out for this dog.
Oh my God.
Which honestly,
we're gonna
wouldn't.
We're gonna sing him a little song. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be amazing. They up like the ridiculousness of it, because like in the original, the whole point of the original is that you don't actually see any of the people, or you don't see any of their faces. It's just at the most you'll see like the bottom.
But
you do see him
like
in
Joe
this,
and
but
Tony,
like right.
Yeah.
But like they're the only like humans besides the dog catcher, I guess, that you actually see.
Mm-hmm. And Jim Deere and Darling and Aunt Sarah.
Yeah, but you don't like see, every time you see them, like their faces are turned away. Like that was the whole like.
I mean, kind of.
Wasn't that the whole like
them, but
point
like
of it? Like
yeah, well, they're very nondescript. Like you can tell that Disney did not take a lot of time designing their faces because they're just like standard human character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this scene is cute. I really enjoy that they still go from them singing in a back alley and they go like, I don't know how to describe it because I'm not a music person, but the music goes like up and they switch to the choir version of the song while they're still walking around the park, which was cute. So yeah, I would say this is very good. This is a very good example of how to do this correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine. I don't think it had to be 2 hours.
Yeah,
but it was good.
2 hours.
It was.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the dog catcher.
I was gonna say we're gonna talk about the dog catcher now. So we should talk about like the
Mangy,
changes. Well,
dirty,
yeah,
dangerous. Dangerous.
We should talk about the changes they made to like the end of the movie. So Jim Deere and Darling come back like immediately after Lady gets captured at the pound.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I think it's Aunt Sarah who comes and gets her for some reason. And Aunt Sarah is still at the house. And in the original version, Aunt Sarah stays there for the whole movie until the end. Mm-hmm. And she's the one who's like, oh my God, Tramp's going to kill the baby. Also, they don't take the baby with them in the original version. I don't know why they changed that. Also, in the original, the baby was a boy, but now it's a girl. I don't know why that change was made either. It's just weird. But yeah, so in the original, it's Aunt Sarah all the way through. And then they just like call animal control at the end. But in this version, hoo boy, we have the dog catcher. And this man is out for blood.
This man has an obsession
with Tramp, and it's hilarious.
It's so funny.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He like, when he like, the first time we see him really, the first time you see him is when Tramp gets
Butch and Peg out of the wagon.
Yeah, out of the wagon. But then he runs and he hides in Lady's backyard, and he like talks to Jim Deere over the fence. And he's just like, have you seen this dog? It's mangy, dirty,
in danger. And Jim Deere.
Jim Deere's like, what?
Because this is during the baby shower, by the way.
Right. He walked outside because Lady was barking at Tramp, and he's confronted by this crazed man who's like, have you seen this dog? And he's like, no, but we got a rat. And he's like, oh, I don't associate myself with vermin. And he's just like, Jim Deere's like, okay, well, thanks for whatever this was.
It's so great. I love.
See,
Oh
that was
my
another
God.
reason why I was talking about the dialogue before, because I was like, that doesn't sound like something someone would say in 1909.
No, but it works so well.
But it's funny.
Yes. Like the guy who
Oh.
plays. I love the guy who plays Jim Deere. His name is Thomas Mann. And my God, was he funny in this movie.
Oh God.
Specifically in that baby shower scene, and then the scene where the dog catcher comes back at the end, where like Jim Deere comes halfway down the stairs, he sees Aunt Sarah come through the door, and then he immediately goes back up the stairs. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. No. And then there's the scene where they leave to go on vacation somewhere with their newborn child, who's vulnerable to disease. So I don't know why you're taking this child wherever you're going. But where I think they speak for like literally 10 seconds before he just like slams the door shut and leaves.
Oh yeah, he's like gone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick one, I mean, I don't know if I really could, because there's similar movies, but they're just different stylistic choices. And like there are things that I like better in the original, and there are things that I like better in this one. Especially this one's version of He's a Tramp just like blew me out of the water. I thought that was really good. But I mean, I think this is a dead tie for me, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pick. At least not right now. I'd have to watch the original again, maybe, to really sort of hammer home which one. But no, I think I think it's good. I think it's really good. It's certainly just as rewatchable as the original. So.
And I would say this is on
it's a
par
win.
with,
Honestly, they should have put it out in theaters. I think it would have done really well.
Yeah, this would have done better than Lion King, probably.
It would have definitely been received better than the Lion King. I don't know if it would have made as much money, but I think it would have done reasonably well.
Yeah, which is a shame, because now we've arrived at Mulan.
They might. I mean, now I feel like, they need things to put out in theaters because...
I mean, this is one of the things that Disney Plus was marketed on. They marketed Disney Plus on like, oh, you can see the new.
That's true. They needed something original to get people to download Disney Plus, because the only thing they had at that point besides this that was new was The Mandalorian. At least what people were interested in. Everything else was just kind of like little passion projects. So they're like Disney behind the scenes stuff, or that like weird that weird show with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. Wrap this up, nice with a bow. This is at least on par with Cinderella and Jungle Book. Possibly. Absolutely. Well, I don't know about Dumbo. Dumbo's in a league of its own, but
that was way out there.
That's in the something
an entirely different hybrid.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is good, and this is a nice reprieve from the bloated, gaudy other live action remakes. It was nice. It was simple. Sometimes Disney, less is more. Okay,
exactly.
That's the lesson you need to learn from this movie.
Less is more. They still added more because it's 45 minutes longer.
But it was fine. They were like, we need to find something to spend like another $2 million on. They were just like, put a riverboat in it. Just put a riverboat in it. I don't even care. So
put a riverboat in it. Okay. Extend the scene of those two Italian guys dancing around.
And you're good. That's it. We got it.
We're good. We got it. Include more dog stuff.
Yes. So yeah. Well, that's all we have for you today. If you liked the video, be sure to like it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and let us know in the comments what you thought of the remake, and what's your favorite breed of dog, if it was in this movie or if it wasn't. Other than that, I've been Nate.
And I'm Rachel.
And we'll see you in the next one.